TikToks, Reels, trends, popular sounds, hashtags, growth hacks, influencer collabs, posting frequency, it doesn't matter. So before you say, Brandon, you don't know what you're talking about, those platforms are popping, people are growing like crazy, I want you to hear me out. The problem with hopping from thing to thing to thing to thing is we lose consistency and mastery over the thing that's gonna bring us growth. I want you to think about it like this. If I was to give you $1 million today, or I said I will give you a penny that doubles every single day for the next 30 days, which one would you take? Well, a lot of people might take the $1 million not realizing that the penny that doubles every single day will be worth way more at the end of those 30 days. And this is the same thing with your messaging, this is the same thing with your content, is that you're gonna find people growing on any platform and every platform. A platform isn't the thing that brings success. If it was, then everyone on a single platform would be successful. However, what we do see is the person who stays consistent, the person that focuses on the long-term goal, the person that doesn't let the external things influence the actions they take every single day, because they're focusing on mastery of their craft, mastery of their message, mastery of their content, mastery of their business, are the ones that see success. But when we look at mastery, mastery takes dedication and it takes consistency. People come into your business because of your message, because of your content, because of what you stand for, because of your values, and because of your identity. Not because you're using a hashtag, and not because you're on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube or all of them. It's about the message. And you may have heard that story before. I didn't make up that story, it's been around for a really long time. The thing I want you to think about is how often are you taking that $1 million? How often are you taking that instant gratification on the new platform, what's gonna get you the most views or the most likes, and how often are you hopping around from new thing to new thing to new thing, dancing and pointing and completely losing focus of the end game, your message, the thing that you really want to stand for? How much is trying to fit into all these little pockets that are gonna give you that instant gratification? How much of that is sacrificing or killing the end goal, the impact, the things that actually matter? Now look, I'm not saying we shouldn't be on these platforms. I'm not saying you shouldn't be on TikTok and something that's really popular if you want to be there, but the intention has to be there. You have to be able to go in there with the same message that you carry on TikTok over to Instagram and to YouTube or wherever it is that you may be. This isn't about platforms, because platforms aren't the thing that's gonna make you grow. Your message and your content and what you stand for are. And as long as those things are in order, you can go on any platform you want and likely see success. So if you decide to go onto TikTok or one of these things that are popular or what may be coming in the future, don't let it be because you think you're gonna get more followers. Let it be that you see another avenue that you get to get your message out there on. So some of the ways to do that is what I call creating your messaging ecosystem. It's an ecosystem where your messaging is consistent, and no matter where someone's experiencing you, it could be on someone else's podcast, your podcast, on TikTok, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Facebook, or wherever they're experiencing you, the message is the same. You have the same elements, you have the same things that you stand for, you have the same educational content, everything is consistent. And that all starts by creating a messaging ecosystem. So no matter what trend comes into place, you have the right message that you have mastery of that gets delivered on those platforms. Number two is you have to look at your business and your message as something that needs mastery, something that takes consistency and dedication. It's something that takes action, it takes evolvement. It's something that you will build over time, and the more you build it, the stronger it gets. So we have to really look at platforms is not really what's going to grow us. Trends aren't really what's going to grow us. Mastery of our craft and our message are the things that are going to grow us. And I guarantee you right now, you can't go find any leader, thought leader out there that does not have mastery over their message. And we can look at big brands like Nike or Red Bull. No matter what platform they're on, their message stays the same. And when we look at thought leaders like the holistic psychologist who's killing it on Instagram, or someone like Simon Sinek, they have a mastery over their craft. There's a mastery over what they're saying, how they're saying it, and how they're teaching. They're not influenced by trends in the media. They're not influenced by what other people tell them they should be doing. They stay within their message They craft the message, they have mastery over the message, they evolve the message, regardless of what platform they're on. And the last and final thing that you need to take into consideration is that it will require you failing and making mistakes. Messaging isn't something that you figure out and then go do. It's something you figure out while you're doing it. And most people get hung up on this one thing. Most people get hung up on, if I post something and it doesn't resonate, people aren't going to follow me. And here's what happens. People will just ignore that piece of content. They won't remember it. And if you look at the people that you follow right now and I asked you what is the most memorable piece of content that they put out there, are you gonna say, well, this one piece of content was so awful that I couldn't stand it? No, you're gonna say this one piece of content impacted me so much that I remember it years later. And it's the same thing for you. It's gonna take some trial and error. It's gonna take some mistakes. It's gonna take some learning. It's gonna take you taking action. And don't get hung up on, if I do something wrong, they're going to leave. Most people will just ignore it until they see that piece of content that really hits them deep. And that's what this is all about. One quick note before we end this video, before you decide to hop to another platform or try something else, is ask yourself, are you reacting or are you adapting? If you're adapting, then you should be okay. And adapting is looking at the platforms, looking at the trends, looking at what's popular, and adapting what you do in those, but not changing the message. Sure, maybe you could be dancing and pointing like most people are doing, but as long as the message continues to be the same, we aren't sacrificing the long-term goal. On the other hand, if we're reacting, you will find yourself doing things just to get more views, just to get more likes, just to get more followers. And we completely lose focus of the message and the impact. So with that said, let me know what your biggest aha was from this video by leaving us a comment underneath this video, and I'll see you on the next one.